Here, the extension for Python code is .py. So here, as you can see on screen, say we have a source that is m.py, which is created. And here also we have this bytecode that is similar to class file that we have in Java. So that is m.pyc, which is a compiled Python code. But here we don't need compiler. This is basically created as in when you write the program. So it's already there. So you just run that program. So it would run or execute or say interpret, and the output would be there. Now here, say even if there is any error in your code, then also you would know about it only when you run it. So it would throw an error in runtime. There is no compiler, so here it's not mandatory that your program should be error free before going forward. So here it can be with error, and that's why you need to take an extra care while writing code in Python that there are no errors. So say this were some technical details about Python and Java programming, how they work and how the basic language get converted. And now also say going forward, we have other comparisons between Python and Java on which capability is better in which language. So uh, let's move to next slide. Yeah. So here, say, as you can see, the comparison factors in the first column, then we have Java and Python in second and third column respectively. So based on speed and performance, yeah, Java is the front runner there. It is very fast, and thanks to its JVM, it's that fast. So yeah, that's why it's better. Whereas Python is slow in comparison to Java, but it's good in its own terms. But say if there are many lines of code in Python, it would take more time. So whereas Java, it would be fast. For legacy, so legacy here means say what if we want to change some legacy systems and adopt them in Java. So in Java, to adopt those legacy system and to translate them in Java way, it would be very complex because they have their own process, and you need, as you know, it's statically typed, so you need to follow various things. That's why it would be complex in Java. Whereas in Python, it's more of a scripting language, so it is easy to adapt there, and there would be less lines of codes, and it would be done very easily. So that's why say Python is easy to adapt in those legacy systems. In base of coding, so in Java, yeah, you would take more time so to code. So that's why, yeah, I mentioned it as slow. And say if you have a similar type of requirement to be done, say you want to do a plus b, for example, and if you write a code in Java and Python, so Python would be much less lines compared to Java. So yeah, that's why I say Java follows a structured way. That's why it has more lines, and that's why it's slow. Whereas Python is more of a dynamic. So that's why it has less lines of code and it can be created faster. Then the another point is cross-platform. So yeah, as you can see, it can be used cross-platform due to JVM, that's Java Virtual Machine. That's what we saw some slides earlier, where the code gets interpreted in the runtime. Trends we already discussed, say yeah, Java is used in ERP or embedded, whereas Python is used in AI, machine language, and data science. For Java, say you need to understand this because in terms of salary, say there are many Java developers out there currently. Even Python developers are currently increasing. But as Java is being used since long time, there are many developers which are like very experienced compared to Python, and that's why say the salary structure there is average, and Python is currently kicking in. So there are there are more requirements and there are a lot of developers going. So currently, say salary is higher, but going forward, it might say for both it would turn out to be average when we have more number of developers or adapters there. And last is based on syntax. So in syntax, say Java is more complex because as I mentioned, it's more structured and you need to follow certain rules for Java. Whereas in Python, it's easy to learn and it's quick to program. So these were some comparisons and kind of a summary of what we learned until now about Java and Python and those technical details. Now we will go to the more interesting part I'm sure all would be looking forward for. So that's more on the job roles. So here, say I have given specifically for Python on the left side because that's where say more roles are coming currently, whereas on the right side it's a more of a general say or job roles which are there that happens in a successive manner, whether it's Java or Python. So say for data science, machine learning, or artificial intelligence. So here you can see in Python, you can become a data scientist provided you know Python very well and also some concepts or around statistics and stuff. So that's where you can use or to go in say data scientist profile. Then we have machine learning engineer. So say machine learning is a new uh, concept which has been growing for you, which is being used in artificial intelligence. So say you need to learn Python as well as there are various libraries out there which you need to learn to say train your algorithms and and yeah, it's more of a kind of research field as well as a niche field currently. So that's one of where you can go once you learn Python. So that's machine learning engineer. Then data analyst here, say in this role, you would basically have various data and say maybe raw data or say Excel data, and you would have to create analyses out of those data or say maybe transform that data into more readable data. Then the pure one is Python developer. So it can be any application, maybe data scientist, desktop, or a website. So you just need to know Python and its libraries. So that's for Python developer. And yeah, similar for say software engineer or senior software engineer. So these are more of generic roles. Even in Java, say you can be a Java developer or say software engineer or senior software engineer. So here say on the right side, so let's start from bottom. So for example, if you have yeah, can you please go back to the last slide? Yeah, thanks. So say if you start from the bottom, so here you can get hired as an application specialist or support engineer once you know Java and Python, wherein you would be providing support to the clients or say various applications, and you would have some specific tasks. And when you get more experience, then you can go to say senior analyst or senior software engineer, where you would be more of in a consulting mode or say solution providing mode, where you would provide various solutions to customers or build various things from scratch like a project or any specific requirement. So yeah, that's the second part. And third part is the topmost or say the yeah, that's where programming expert can reach. So kind of enterprise architect or service manager. So that's where you would have to design whole application or say whole framework or whole technology or say service manager wherein you are in kind of managing a team of say 3 to 5 different teams and doing different work in Java and then delivering it. So yeah, these were some of the roles which are currently available, and that's how you can go forward. So I hope it's interesting, and yeah, I mean, you can always target to go above. Then moving on to next slide, and there we have more generic architecture that is for both. So say you start as a junior developer when you join any organization, whether it's a service company or a product company. So, say main difference is in service company you would have many clients and where you would work for different clients, whereas in product company you would be creating a product which would be used by different clients. So that's the main difference, but the hierarchy would remain same. So junior developer to senior developer, then a lead developer where you would be leading a team of few people and with a common goal or common target to achieve, and also the architect where you would be designing and doing say interfaces and things like that. uh, After that level then is the mid level where you can be a manager or director. So there are 3 types or say 4 types to add, say developer manager, product manager, project manager, and now we also have various say skill sets like agile manager and agile coach. So it's more of say yeah, different kind of managing of project, but it's related. So where in this role, so basic task would be to manage whole project or manage whole say requirement or manage whole client and things like that. So if you are, for example, creating a website in say Python, so if you are a product manager, so you would be having various teams underneath where in some teams would be developing in Python, some would be doing a testing, and some would be say kind of consulting. So as a product manager, you would have to have a overview and you need to drive that product or say that website and create it in a required manner, and you would also have to provide updates about that to the senior or senior manager. And yeah, that's how it's structured currently. And as you can see on the title, so we have senior leadership, wherein say VP or CEO. So you can be, if you are in a IT firm, then yeah, you can become a CTO, even a CEO and stuff like that. And whereas if you are in some other industry like manufacturing or chemical or any other, then you can be a IT head or say a region head or things like that. So yeah, those are different roles which we have. Uh, Moving to the next slide, where we have say different solution providers. Next slide, please. Yeah. So here I just say got logo of all. So as you can see, say for India, I mean TCS, Wipro, Infosys, so IBM and even Patni, and they all are say leading solution providers in terms of say services. So they provide services to various clients which have their own say Java or Python applications or framework already there, and they are supporting there. And also say they are creating their own products. So for example, say Tata or say TCS is basically creating their product in banks. So they have a software called banks, and that's created basically in Java, and which is being widely used. So yeah, that's how they are also using that. And say for IBM, they are currently using Python very much, and they have recently come up with various tools like AI chatbots and things like that. So they are also creating products which are being used by various customers, and also they are providing say services in there. So this is more of say it's a vast list. So you can always count that all IT companies are working on Java. For Python, not all are working, but at least say yeah, it's increasing so compared to what it was previously. For example, Google is using Python extensively for, say, their data centers and connecting to their backend systems. So they have been using it since start, but nowadays many other companies are also adopting it. So they are using for their own as well as yeah, providing solutions to customers. And mm, say yeah, we would move to the next slide wherein we will see the use cases of say various companies using Java and Python. So next slide please. Yeah, so say here companies using Java. So here you can see most of them. So Microsoft, Dell, LinkedIn, or even yeah, we have some repeat of the previous companies as well, which are using Java. Even there is one more company which is say SAP. You can find in the second last row. So say they have their entire framework of SAP ECC, which is used by various manufacturing companies. So it's whole created in Java. So say they are since 1996. So I think when Java came, and that's when even SAP was actually targeting the market. And yeah, that's why they were using Java since start, and they have created a vast platform on Java, and it's currently being used by all say top 500 or various MNCs for say their enterprise solutions. And similarly say Intel is using it for their embedded systems. So they have their machine language programming, but say yeah, on top of that, they are using Java to create a more better embedded system in more easier and faster way. So as it would be easy to code. So that were some examples around Java, and there are plenty more, but yeah, say it would keep on going. So now we'll go for Python. So here, say I have just divided it in say as per the current application. So say for finance, so you might have used PayPal if you have done any transaction in foreign currency. Then yeah, PayPal is using Python for say their front end as well as the back end. uh, for technology, yeah, as I mentioned, Google, Dropbox, Mozilla. So all of them, they are using it for backend. So as you know, so YouTube, they have lots of videos, right? And say how to handle too many videos and say the data for that. So they are using Python as a middleware wherein it's acting as an interface between the backend systems and the front end to store and yeah bifurcate data. So that's where yeah Python is used. And current example can be say Netflix. So Netflix is basically using artificial intelligence as well as machine learning in Python to give say the curated videos based on our interest or say based on what we saw last and things like that. So yeah, I mean, there are endless use cases and it's a vast field. So whether you go for say Java or Python, it's being widely used and there's a lot of opportunity there. So yeah, I mean, those were some use cases around that. And going to say the next slide, and that's how to get into this domain. So yeah, next slide, please. Okay. So I just have one answer here. So yeah, it's start coding. So whether in Java or Python, whichever you like or both of them, yeah, you just need to say start coding and learn those languages and apply it in different use cases. So as you say go deeper, there are various say different requirements and use cases based on which you can create different applications or say whole framework. And you just need to play around this, and I'm sure say this language is would be around again for say next 2 to 3 decades at least, because yeah, they have been used so widely that even you need to support your legacy system. So yeah, that's why I say they would still be used.